his turn to vote, he realized he had to vote. What a concept. He had to vote to represent his constituents.
Yes.
And he had to vote for you and for the people on Polk instead of for his own personal beliefs. And that, to me, like, I can't wait for this guy to ascend. You know, he's so good, it's
great.
almost like he didn't stand a chance. It's like when
he's
you hear that
wonderful.
mixtape of, like, a band and you're like, these guys are amazing. They'll never make it. They're too good.
Oh, he's so good. But I think that he's enough of a sort of a movie star that he can kind of. He's almost like a Kennedy. You know, he's like
He's
a lost
really
Kennedy.
hot. He's way better looking than Kennedys.
Yeah,
Kennedy,
he's really good looking.
Let's talk about the Kennedys. All we get told is how hot the Kennedys were and Bobby. These guys are ass ugly people. They look like they're like Peyton and Eli Manning. Let's not act like Bobby Kennedy was like this hot guy. He's got those big, stupid Bugs Bunny teeth, and he's always playing with his bangs. And I have a theory: the more you play with your bangs, the less smart you are.
Oh, yeah.
Pay attention to that when you're out in the world. Every time you like customer service, like, well, we could do. And then when they two hands on the bangs, Bobby Kennedy, right at the ambassador, 2 hands on the bangs. Not a good looking family. Teddy, as a young guy, way hotter than Johnny and Bobby. You ever seen young photos of Teddy?
Oh, yeah, he was good looking.
Smoking hot.
He was really good looking.
But I think the Kennedys get a free pass for being really good looking.
Yeah, I mean, well, they were so young. They were so, I think, a symbolic thing of what the country wanted to be like. You know, they wanted to be that, this sort of like, I don't know, very fabulous, like, office. You know, it was a very cool thing. And so maybe their cool factor is what people are seeing other than their looks. I think they're good looking, but
do you think they're hot? Like Gavin Newsom, we can agree.
Oh, he's hot.
He's like a movie star.
Yeah,
hot.
he's like a movie star. He is. He really is.
Who's the other one? Warren Beatty. I don't get it.
Warren Beatty's quite beautiful.
You don't think he looks like Bugs Bunny?
Well, maybe now, but when as a very young man, he was quite lovely. As is Shirley MacLaine. They're quite a good looking family.
Shirley MacLaine was very good looking.
Very good looking as a young person, really beautiful.
Do you want to act again? Do you want to get? I know you're doing Drop Dead Diva. Are you still doing Drop Dead Diva?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good.
Yes.
And that seems like a really good, like the opposite of All American Girl. Like no, like doesn't seem like a ton of pressure.
No, it's easy.
You're a little off the radar.
It's fun.
On a separate what network?
It's on Lifetime.
Yeah,
it's fun to do. I like it.
Right before The Client List and right after Mother May I Sleep with Danger, starring Tori Spelling.
Wow.
And something with Marky Post where she wakes up in a hotel room.
Something like that. Yeah, but it's great. I mean, I love that show. I love Lifetime.
How many days a week do you work on the show?
I probably work maybe 3 or 4 if I do.
That's a good gig.
Yeah, so it's not bad. Sometimes come home on the weekends. We'll see.
Come home to San Francisco?
To LA. We shoot in Atlanta.
We're in Atlanta?
In Peachtree City.
Peachtree City.
Right, because you know Brooke Dorsey, don't you?
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she's great.
She's on the show?
She's on our show, yeah.
I start watching the show. Brooke and I did a movie, an all-black movie called King's Ransom. We were the only 2 white people.
Oh, that's awesome.
And for a while, I made a really good living being the white guy in black movies.
Oh, yeah.
You walk in, and when you leave, people point over their shoulder like, what's with the white boy? Like, that's the whole gig. Like, it's like, you know what you are? You're Lenny and Squiggy. Somebody goes, well, who's that stupid? And you come in and go, hey, guys. How's it going? I'll be over here with my my khaki pants. So, but Brooke and I worked up on a movie in Canada, and we just got along really well. And then she was on Gary Unmarried.
Yes.
And she was very nice.
Yes, she's wonderful. She's wonderful.
And I'm glad she's good. She deserves to work. Have you ever seen her? I'm not making a joke. Have you ever seen her? She has 2 teeth that she can remove. Have you ever seen that?
No, I have not seen that. I'm going to ask her about that.
I cannot bring it up again because she'll kill me, but you know the odds of, and I'm not lying, and it's, you will, between takes, if she gives you one of those right before the take, it's you're golden. They'll print your first take if she can just go and drop them out right before you go.
I can't
because
they're
weird ones. They're like these 2.
That's crazy. I'm going to ask her about that.
Yeah, don't demand to see it.
I'm going to ask to see
Say,
it. Yeah,
I'm
demand.
on to you. Jay Mohr told me.
I'm going to demand to
and
see
you're
it.
the only person I've ever told because I've sworn to secrecy.
Okay.
But I figured if you're going to come and do the podcast and be a guest in my home, the least I could do is share you some secret of mine.
Thank you. Well, that's a good secret to know. And she's wonderful, so I will definitely demand that.
What role do you wish you could play ever? If you could pick any role.
I would like to play, I don't know. God,
No?
what would be good? I would like to do one of those Korean movies, like with a lot of like, just a lot of golf club swinging, like a lot of like golf club fights. Like I've
I don't know.
Well, I've witnessed so many golf club fights in my life that I would like to actually participate in one of myself.
Koreans dominate the driving range. I'm not a golfer.
No, I'm not
I
either.
could take a lot of naps in a round of golf. I don't know why anybody would waste their day walking around chasing a ball when you could be napping.
Right.
But Koreans really do seem to, especially on Wilshire Boulevard, there's all those driving ranges.
There's driving ranges, yes.
I guess, maybe, you know what, I'm such an idiot. It's because it's in Koreatown, JJ. Maybe that's why you see so many Koreans. Hey, what's with all these Koreans in Koreatown? That's cute. But you actually see golf.
Club fights. Well, usually, like, people in my family, they get real drunk, and then they swing a golf club at another person in the family. And then it's, at furniture or at the wall. So there's a lot of golf club fighting.
Why not keep the golf clubs like in the trunk of the car? Maybe they shouldn't be at the ready.
Well, it's something that they're always there, and they're a good weapon actually because they're weighted right.
Yeah, they
weighted
are.
And they're heavily weighted on the.
But go for the putter. Don't swing the driver because that shaft will snap on you. I don't know how I know that. I can't tell you how I know that. But the putter is much better because it's iron.
Yes.
What causes a golf club fight in the Cho household?
Well, usually a lot of drinking, a lot of soju. Or a lot of just whatever, alcohol of any
But
kind.
who says what? Walk me through like a family.
Something like somebody will go, "Wait, gret," which is sort of like it's like kind of like what, and then they're just like arguing about stuff. I mean, it's an argumentative culture, and so
Really?
they're just like they like to fight. And fighting isn't necessarily a bad thing; it's just something that happens. Drunkenness in Korea is never really negative. It's kind of like an excuse to do whatever you want.
Japan, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Respect to the peninsula, but the island, I think, has drunkenness locked up.
Maybe.
They lead the league of Asian
Maybe.
cultures in drunkenness.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But we actually drink more than England and Ireland
Combined. Not Scotland, though.
No, maybe not.
If you think you're an alcoholic, go to Scotland. You're not an alcoholic. They actually drink while they're drinking. It made sense in my head. But
It makes total
you're all right.
sense.
Good.
I love
You're smart. That's why. You're good.
Wait, do you go to Edinburgh? Do you do shows there? Do you do the festival?
I would love to go overseas to do comedy. I think it would really be a good fit. England and Scotland.
They would love you.
Thank you. Make a call.
They would love you, and they already know you. I mean, I'm sure that they know you very well, and they would love.
I'll
they
open
would love
for you for 20 minutes. I'll be clean. I won't even swear, and I'll throw out rose petals before I bring you out on stage.
That's wonderful.
Just give me a little taste.
Okay.
That's all I need. A little bit of money.
You would do really well.
It seems like American comics that fail, they go over there. And there's that weird, which we're very known for, is the Hawaiians call us dataras because we like to put our hands on our hips, da-da-da. But we go over there and we're like, what's wrong with you people? Like how you would berate like a Louisville improv audience for like being a shitty second show Friday crowd.
Yeah.
And they're like, you fucking came to us, bro.
Right.
Do your thing. But I think there's the reverence I would have for the theaters, and I'm sure you feel the same way, because in San Francisco, there's no lack of culture, and you realize the importance of the buildings you're in.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, when you start at a gay bookstore, you got to respect the room.
Of course.
So I would love to. I tried to get Jim Jeffries to get me into Australia, and then
You should do Australia. They would love you.
yeah, but if I get off a plane after 20 hours, I don't want to see white people speaking English. I don't want to sit on a plane for 20 hours and when I get off, have a guy go, "You got any more bags? Because your car is right over here." I better see the Great Wall of China. I better see some Koreans.
Well, there are a lot of them there.
At the Great Wall of China.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of them there. It's very close to Asia.
Which Asian cultures dislike each other the most?
I think Koreans hate Japanese the most.
Yeah.
It's got a lot to do with wars and stuff and occupation. And I think also Chinese hate Japanese also. And I think that Japanese, I think they're oblivious.
Because they're drunk.
Because they don't really have that same kind of like, they're kind of in the now, where I think a lot of stuff, Koreans and Chinese, we sort of maybe live in the past a little bit.
How do you feel about Dennis Rodman talking to Kim Jong-un, straightening out world affairs?
God.
It's kind of great.
I think it's great.
Yeah, and people are like mocking it, and I'm like, the fact that he came back with a message for the president, yo, Barack, he said, call him. Like, they broke it down to like the South Bronx.
Yeah.
And like a Puerto Rican saying to a black guy, like, yo, I think it's straight. You just got to call him up, man. Hit him up on the cell. Hit him on his hip, money. I think it's good.
I think
and people are making fun of it.
No, it's great.
And I'm like, but leave it to Kim Jong-un to have the Harlem Globetrotters have a game end in a tie. That's power.
Yes.
When the Globetrotters don't beat the Washington Generals.
Right.
And, the confetti trick doesn't work. And it actually ended in a tie.
Yeah.
That's power.
That's power.
When you can get the Globetrotters to pull up at 121, 121, they're not pulling the pants off the referee. So if you could play any role you don't know.
Maybe Imelda Marcos. I don't know if I'm able to.
Oh, that's good.
That would be a good one. That's sort of been my lifelong dream. So
Because there's so much
someday.
glamour.
There's so much glamour, but also, she's actually quite multifaceted. She was a singer. She was a beauty queen when she was younger.
But also kept. A little bit of a kept.
But also actually like in a way, a bit of a national hero and also a bit of a villain too. There's all sorts of stuff that we don't know about her. So I think it'd be great.
Using being kept as the fulcrum to get all the other stuff accomplished. So sort of maybe playing that game to Mr. Marcos, like, yeah, sure, like I'm a kept woman, but meanwhile she had way more going for her than the junta.
I would love to do that.
Did I use that word correctly?
Junta?
Junta? Isn't a junta a fascist dictator?
Yeah, junta. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. I've read the word, but I've never heard it said.
You're one of the few people when I sit with, I choose my words super carefully because I'm well aware you're much smarter than I am.
I'm not.
You are. All right. Since I'm smarter than you, what's 7 times 7?
49?
See, I don't know that. I'm taking your word for it, man. Matty Boy's scribbling it out on a piece of paper. So if, let's say, Drop Dead Diva and you just tour doing stand-up comedy for the next 20 years. Theaters, obviously. Nice big 2,000 seaters. Are you all right with that?
I'm all right with that. I love comedy clubs, too. I like doing multiple shows a night. I like having sort of a small room. I like kind of having like the check spot. I kind of like the check spot. It kind of makes me know where I am. Like, oh, this is what we do. I love comedy clubs. So
I was just at the Brea Improv, and I saw on their comedy calendar you were there on a Tuesday.
I was there last Tuesday. That was great.
And I was like, I said to the people at the door, I go, how cool is this? First of all, it was a great weekend, like headliner. And then like on Tuesday, Margaret Cho drops by. Like, that's pretty badass.
It was good. It was really good.
I love it. I love doing those off nights on the road.
I love it. Did you have a good? That's a great club. I like that club a lot.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Irvine's kind of like really my wheelhouse. They seem to just come out a lot more aggressively.
Yeah.
And I love, you know what? There's only like 2 clubs I don't like. One, Louisville Improv, I said earlier, closed.
It did.
Yeah.
I was just there. How did it close? When did it close?
They didn't like you at all.
No.
They just, when I was there was a free Tony concert directly outside.
Wow.
The comedy clubs in like those outdoor entertainment centers.
Yeah.
And it feels good. I'm like in between jokes and I just hear people, and it's free.
Wait, with Bobby Brown there? No.
No, that's New Edition.
Oh, New Edition.
Did I
Wait,
get
who's
the song
Tony?
wrong? Tony has done it again. And I would like to go to the Tony concert and just stand in the front row and go, Tony. And then when one guy looks up, go, no, not you. The good one. And they're all like super confused. So you were just at the Louisville Improv. Well, it's closed
I like
now.
that.
The one that was on the second floor at the outdoor?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's definitely closed. That was the only place where I thought, there's one thing about towns, and I try to tell everybody on the podcast all the time. If you're listening to this and you're in a town and the town has a comedy club, it is it's a chasm between being in your living room or being in your car listening to this and actually buying a ticket and sitting in a comedy club. It's weird, it's foreign, but you just got to trust Margaret and me. It's awesome. It's fun. Margaret doesn't pick on the audience. I don't pick on the audience. The people we like, people that know that you're friends with and I'm friends with, I hate picking on the audience. I hate that stuff.
That. No, I don't.
It's bullying.
No, it's bullying.
And so if you're listening to this and you have a town with a comedy club in it, go support it. Otherwise, it goes away.
Yeah. Because it's great. It's great to do it. And actually, I don't know if anybody really does pick on the audience anymore. Do they?
Oh, yeah.
Do they really?
Yeah, I won't say names because I want to keep it positive, but there's...
I never did that.
Even if people heckle me, I always try to spin it like us. I'll say like, "Hey man, don't I don't want you to get thrown out."
Yeah,
like that's the signal to the security. But it's really my way of going, "Fucking pipe! What are you serious?
Right.
Pipe down!" Because I walk out and they yell, "Do walking." I'm like, I've been up here 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you go see the Eagles and just start yelling "Hotel California" the minute they walk on stage?
Yeah,
it's a hit. Let it come at the end.
So they don't have anything that's so known that I've ever done.
Well, I'm sure they're yelling "Margaret" the minute you walk on stage.
Well, sometimes, but then that's sort of like I don't know exactly what to do then. Even though like if they're never really requesting anything specific, they just kind of sort of I don't know exactly. But I don't.
It's almost like echolalia. They just like the way it sounds in their head.
Maybe
because when I just said it, I had to fight the urge to just keep doing
it again.
But I don't want to do an impression of your mom poorly to you because there's also like a racial divide and it could come across awful.
No, it doesn't.
It's like playing a drunk poorly.
Oh,
there's no such thing. You're either playing a drunk or you just look foolish. Your Mortified sessions I saw. I believe it's on. Is it on IFC?
Oh yes, yes.
That was touching, to say the least. And the
Oh.
photos of you as a little girl in your
Oh.
little overalls and stuff, and your mom and
Yes.
your dad. Your dad actually had to go back to Korea in the middle of your
Yes.
life.
Oh well, in the beginning of my life, in my very early years, yes, it was very tragic.
All we get told is how hot the Kennedys were and Bobby.
Uh-huh.
These guys are ass ugly people. They look like they're like Peyton and Eli Manning. Let's not act like Bobby Kennedy was like this hot guy. He's got those big stupid Bugs Bunny teeth, and he's always playing with his bangs. And I have a theory: the more you play with your bangs, the less smart you are. Fucking hot.
He was really good looking.
But I think the Kennedys get a free pass for being really good looking.
Yeah, I mean, well, they were so young. They were so, I think, a symbolic thing of what the country wanted to be like. You know, they wanted to be that, this sort of like, I don't know, very fabulous, like, office. You know, it was a very cool thing. And so maybe, oh yeah.
Pay attention to that when you're out in the world. Every time you like customer service, like, well, we could do, and then when they two hands on the bangs, Bobby Kennedy, right at the ambassador, 2 hands on the bangs. Not a good looking family. Teddy, as a young guy, way hotter than Johnny and Bobby. You ever seen young photos of
Oh
Teddy?
yeah, he was good looking.
Smoke. It was his turn to vote. He realized he had to vote. What a concept. He had to vote to represent his constituents.
Yes.
And he had to vote for you
Yes.
and for the people on Polk instead of for his own personal beliefs. And that to
Exactly.
me, like, I can't wait for this guy to ascend. You know, he's so good,
He's
it's
great.
almost like he doesn't stand a chance. It's
Well,
like when
he's
you hear that
wonderful.
mixtape of like a band and you're like, these guys are amazing. They'll never make it. They're too good.
Oh, he's so good. But I think that he's enough of a sort of a movie star that he can kind of. He's almost like a Kennedy. You know, he's like
He's
a lost
really
Kennedy.
hot. He's way better looking than Kennedys.
Yeah. He's
Kennedy,
really good looking.
Let's talk about the Kennedys.